Hello everyone. So welcome you all to Ashok Tutorials, Meghalaya's first MTET channel. So as you know, we have already started with the coaching, right? So we have started with the coaching 2024. So now in this video, I will be explaining to you environmental studies EVS, all right? So as you know that EVS is there as a subject for paper 1. So I will be explaining to you the EVS today, right? So let's start. So nature, scope and importance of EVS in elementary stage. So now you know why we have to study EVS, why environmental studies is so important. So we need to understand what is the nature of environmental studies, then what is the scope, then what are the importance or significance of the study. So those things we need to understand and follow. So let us see. So before we do anything, we need to understand what do we mean by environment, right? What is the meaning of environment? So let's see. An environment is a complex set of conditions that surrounds the influence of all living and non-living things in both natural and human-made in elements and the dynamic interactions between them. So now what happens? Environment means technically the surrounding, right? The immediate surrounding in which we are living. So environment means the interaction between the living and non-living things, the biotic and the abiotic things, right? The physical features like the mountains, the rivers, the forest, right? And the human beings, the plants, the animals. So there is an interaction between all these, right? There is an interaction between the living and the non-living, that is the biotic and the abiotic. So this is what constitutes the environment, right? So this is what constitutes the environment, and there is a great interaction between the two. One cannot live without the other, right? So let me give you a basic example that as human beings we depend on plants for what? For oxygen, right? So the plants, they take in the carbon dioxide and they release the oxygen, and human beings, we release the carbon dioxide and we take the oxygen. So we are exchanging the gases, right? So this is an example of one type of interaction between the biotic and abiotic factors of the environment, right? Let's go to the next slide now. All right. All right, great. So just give me a minute here, right? So something is not going well with my video, I mean with my laptop. Just excuse me for a minute, not a minute actually, just excuse me for some time. All right, so here we are. So we have seen what is an environment, right? Then now let us see what do we understand, or what are the the significance, then the factors. So those things let us see now, right? So now as we go to the next slide, let us see what we have. So this is the next slide, or the second slide. This is a beautiful slide, right? You can see the puppy here, the beautiful puppy. So I believe that most of you, the people of Meghalaya, we love puppies, dogs and puppies, right? So that's why I have given the animation of a puppy here. So with that, you know with that puppy, let us learn it together. So components of environment. So we need to understand what do we mean by the components of an environment, which means what is the environment composed of, right? We need to know that. So an environment is comprised of two main components. How many components are there? Two main components are there, and that is the biotic component. What are the biotic components? The living organisms are the biotic components. What are the living environment, like the organisms? That is the plants like trees, flowers, grasses. Then we have animals like mammals, birds, insects, fishes, right? Then we have microorganisms like bacteria, fungi and viruses or protozoans, right? So these are all the living components of the environment. Then again, another component is there. What is that? Yes, you are right. That is abiotic, right? Non-living. So let us see what we have there. All right. So abiotic components, the non-living physical and chemical factors within an environment is called a abiotic factor or environment. Now, sunlight, water bodies like the lakes, the rivers, the ponds, the oceans, the rain, then air, like the different gases like the oxygen, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, sulfur dioxide, right? Then soil, then temperature, then climate. So all this comes under non-living or abiotic component of the environment. All right, let's go to the next slide now. All right. So nature of environment. So what is the nature? Like suppose we say, oh, this Sir Ashok's nature is like, uh, how to say, he is soft spoken, or he is short tempered, or he is, a very funny, or he is very friendly, or very approachable, or very frank. So likewise we have different type of natures, right? So likewise environment also has got its own nature. So let us see what is the nature of the environment. What do you think? Let's see. So interdisciplinary. So EVS is not just science. Of course we know that environment is a science, right? It includes the physics, the chemistry, the biology, even social science. History is there in EVS, then civics, a bit of politics. I don't think it is there, but yes, of course, the laws, the acts are there, right? Then we have a kind of economics also, and one more subject I'm forgetting, that is geography. Yes, geography. A lot of geography is there, right? Then it is an interdisciplinary subject, means different subjects are related with it or collaborated with it, right? Then we have examples staying. All right, this helps students our big picture and how the world are interconnected. Example, studying the water lake cycle involves science. So they are explaining like how we can say that environment is a science. So suppose we are studying about the pond or a lake. So that is biology, right? In biology, we study the environment, right? We study the environment, the pond, then experiential. So environmental studies is experiential. So EVS emphasizes hands-on learning and exploration. So whenever we are learning EVS, we are doing hands-on training, right? Then holistic. EVS is not just about facts. It encourages students to think about the values, the ethics, and their relationship with the environment. Now see, what they are saying is that EVS does not only mean that it is about the studies. So when we are studying EVS seriously, we know that it is not good to cut down the trees. It is not good to use plastics. It is not good to throw the garbages and waste on the roadsides. Then we also know that it is not good, smoking is not good, deforestation is not good, then burning of plastic is not good, overuse of vehicles are not good, factories and industries are not good, then dumping the waste in the water bodies are also not good, right? So there are lots and lots of things which we understand when we study the environment. So we, in this present generation, we are trying to go towards the papers. Of course we live in a plastic age. The age we are living, see, before it was stone age, then iron age, then now comes the plastic age, right? So we are living in plastic age, which means what? It means that whatever we have today, see, the buses you are going in, the cars you are going in, the doors, the dashboard, everything is made up of plastics these days, right? Before it was made up of irons. Now uh, see, there is one thing you need to follow, is that as students or as teachers, what you have to do is that whenever we are, little simple example let me give. Whenever you see your students, whenever you're taking out your students for picnics and all, you go in a school bus. So whenever you see your students taking out the wrapper, opening the wrapper and chewing the sweets and throwing the plastics out of the window of the bus, please do not allow them to do that. Instead, you ask them to keep that small plastic in their pocket or in their bag, so that when they reach home, they can throw it in the dustbin, right? Or if they want to throw it, let them throw it in the bus or keep it in the bus, because when the bus stops, they will clean the bus and they will collect the garbage. But when the students are going throughout their journey throughout the road, do you think that somebody is going there to collect the waste one by one? No, nobody will collect it. It will be on the way, on the road, and slowly it will be dumped under the ground, right, which will affect the biodiversity or the environment altogether. So this is our duty as teachers to look into it, right? All right. So next we have scope of environment. So what are the different scopes of environment? Let's see. Immediate surrounding. Environment starts with what's familiar to the child: home, school, neighborhood. This grounds their understanding in the real world. Now see, immediate surroundings. So in an environment we have families, we have home, we have school, we have community, we have neighborhood, we have teachers, we have friends, we have parents, we have peers, we have elders, we have younger ones, right? So lots of people are there, and we as individuals, we should know how to interact with them, right? Then physical and biological environment. So this includes the natural world: plants, animals, landforms, weather, etc. Studying life cycles of insects, the importance of trees, classifying rocks and soil. Social and cultural environment. So there are different examples of environment, like the physical environment, the biological environment, the social and cultural environment. So we know that we as the people of Meghalaya, we are having a diverse culture, right? We are having a rich and diverse culture in our state. So we are protecting, we are trying our best to protect our culture, right? So how do we know about our cultures? By observing the environment, by studying the environment, by knowing about the environment. They are therefore, on the 5th of June every year we celebrate World Environment Day, in which we practice afforestation. Afforestation is the opposite of deforestation. Afforestation means planting of trees. So every year on World Environment Day we are planting trees, more and more trees, right? In schools, in offices, in home. So, and we are also practicing not to throw the garbages in and around our house, or not to throw it here and there. We are not throwing it indiscriminately, right? We are trying to throw it only in the dustbin. Swachh Bharat also we practice, right, on the 5th of June every year, right? So let's see what we have next. Importance of environment. So why is environment important? So awareness and sensitivity. So we have to protect our environment. Why? Because we are the ones who spoil the environment. So we are responsible for spoiling the environment. So it is our duty now to protect the environment, right? Excuse me. Then we have knowledge and understanding. So we have to have proper knowledge of the environment, right? The proper understanding of the environment. Then through observation, experiments and projects. See, there are different types of projects going on, there are different types of plan going on in order to save the environment, in order to save the rivers, in order to save the forest. Reserve forest are there, then different type of action plans are there, right? Then values and attitude. We should have a positive attitude towards the environment, right? We should be responsible citizen of the country, of the state, and of the place, right, where we reside. Now, foundation for future learning. So the concepts and interest we should be able to inculcate in the students so that they become the future leaders of the environment, and they take steps in order to protect the environment, which has been already exploited more than enough, right? Because of the rising population, the environment is being exploited more and more. So we have seen famine problem. What is famine problem? Famine problem means the problem with food, inavailability of the food. Then we have seen drought. Drought means inavailability of the water. So we have seen then climate change. We have seen climate change. Then the temperature is rising every day, more and more and more and more. The places like Gujarat and Rajasthan, they are having 20, they are having as high as 50 degree of temperature. Just imagine, the water starts boiling at 100 degree, and Gujarat and all are already boiling half, which means 50 degree means half boil, right? So the temperature there is 50 degree. We, the people of Meghalaya, we can't even imagine that. Can you imagine living in 50 degrees? No, we can never imagine. We'll die. So if we want to live, if we want our near and dear ones to live, if we want our generations to live, we have to let the environment live, right? So we have to live by 3 R's. 3 R's is what? Reduce, reuse and recycle. See, this is important, according to like the previous year's questions. Like uh, three R for what? R for rabbit. So three R's are important. That is reduce, recycle, reduced, reuse, and recycle. You should remember that, right? Let's see the next slide. All right, so it's over already. So it was a very short video for all my dear ones. All right, for all my dear students or candidates who are preparing for your MTET examination. So we pray and we hope that you have your next MTET examination this year. So this was all with you in this video today. So thank you everyone for staying connected with the show tutorials, Meghalaya's first MTET channel. So thank you and have a good day. Thank you.